Okay guys, how you doing? Um, I was watching the videos on what happened in Mexican Beach, uh, October 2018, that the hurricane completely wiped out the town. And the only house standing was the concrete house. Every time I see a disaster on TV, be it in the Tornado Alley or some of the areas that the houses are completely demolished because they're made out of wood, and then the people say we're going to rebuild, and then they rebuild the same way. They rebuild with wood, not concrete. Um, concrete it concrete lasts for a long time. I mean, there's still structures in Italy that they're made out of concrete, primitive concrete, that they use ash and shell and things, and they're still standing. Concrete is very durable. It is a little bit expensive depending on your mix. It could be 2,500 per square inch. Those are foot per pound. It could be 4,500 per square inch, per square feet. It just depends what the engineer or the city requires. Concrete, you don't have to do the whole thing out of concrete, but you got to do the outer shell. My idea is to do the outer shell out of concrete, and then the dividing walls, you can make that out of wood, so it'll save you some money. The house, the roof on the house has to be also concrete. I'm from the Caribbean. The houses that my dad used to build, my dad used to work for Public Works. It was a government company, and they would build schools and colleges and hospitals, clinics and homes, and they were all prefab. They would come in with the walls, set them down in the foundation, tie it to it, do the slab, come in with the roof, cap it. Very simple construction, and those houses are still there. Now they're not as nice looking, but this is just a basic home for a small family. Now, I came up with a design because I feel that my idea would solve a lot of the problems. I've had this idea for a while. I did the drawing. It's just very basic. It's not a lot of details. The engineers are the ones that are going to come up with the information about it. How far do you need to go into the sand? How high do you need to be off the ground for the water to flow through? And this is not a stick or caisson construction. This is a different way of doing it, that you can build even a two-story home on top of this foundation. The house will be protected. It's going to be off the ground. You can even have storage underneath. I'll show you what I mean right now, but I feel bad for those people, and I noticed that the community is made out of old people, retired people, and they've been there for the longest time, and most of them don't have insurance. Without insurance, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe the government could give them a hand if they could, but I hate to see people go through the trouble of rebuilding the same way, and then here it comes again in a few years later, and boom, it knocks it down again. Come on, learn from your mistakes. The same thing with people in the Midwest, Tornado Alley. Look what happened in Tennessee. I never thought that Tennessee would get hit by a tornado, killed 25 people or 29 people. That was very sad. But for the people that are in the really flat, because Tennessee has hills. I think it's got some mountains, so I never knew that tornadoes can walk in there. But people that live in the flat areas, you know you're going to get hit by a tornado. Sooner or later, you're going to get hit by a tornado. Build it out of concrete and have a way of those wooden homes are not going to hold. I don't care how much metal you put into them. They're not going to hold. You're going to have half a house. Now you're going to rebuild again. And here comes with the 2x4 again. Do it out of concrete, man. In the Caribbean, the houses, there's a lot of poor communities in those islands, and they get some damages, but the houses are still standing. The roof might be flying out because it's at a 10. They don't even have a decent roofing or anything, but the walls are standing. And the walls have been standing for centuries. The morro in Puerto Rico, my favorite one, is really nice, really well built, and those things are still standing. I'm not asking you to build a castle, but I'm asking you to build with concrete. So let me show you my suggestion. You know, I'm a designer. You talk to your city and see if he likes the idea, and then you can build it this way. All right, let me show you what I got here. So this is the footing on the foundations. This is 6 feet. I had it at 4 feet, but you can have it at 6 feet. You can have it at whatever the city requires. 6 feet deep by 7 feet wide. And this is not a square structure. I'm going to show you what it is. This is an oval. This is like a canoe. Okay? And you have a space on the center. I have it here at 50 feet 9 inches, supporting a home that is 40 feet wide with a 12-foot beam. I'm sorry, a 12-inch beam, 20 feet long at every 4 feet wide. And that will support any structure, including a 2-story homes. This is representing the outer walls. There are two walls to show you what the house would sit on. And then let me show you what let me get this thing straight a little bit here. Let me show you what the house would look like with this structure on. Okay, right now I'm in wire mode, and it shows you the structures. This one here, you can put on all of them. You can put a door that is sealed, and the water will not go in if it's a good door. This is 6 feet 9 inches wide. You can put storage in here. You can put tools, generator, bicycle, ladders, whatever stuff you have in your garage. Since you don't have a garage here, or if you have a garage on the side, you know that's going to get washed away. You put them inside these caissons, and these caissons will protect everything you have in there. Now this here are let me get the hand again. This here are the beams going across every 4 feet on center. So when you put a piece of plywood flooring, it's going to be sitting on the center of each beam. And then you can put some cross members to support the middle, 2x4s or 2x6s, and do that. Then let me show you and this is anchored in the concrete. Let me give you a perspective of this house. Okay, I know it's a box, nothing fancy, but it'll work. Okay, right here, this thing's supposed to be, let me see, oh man, it's gonna take a while now. Let's see, thickness, it's 14 feet high. Oh, no, 10 feet high. Let's see what happened here, it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, just so you have an idea what it looks like. What do I do here? Oh, let me back up. Put it back where it goes. This here, of course, you have to have rebar. You have to have the appropriate materials for this structure to work. And this thing's going whack on me now. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that because it's going to take a while. Every time I click out or I do something different, the program just doesn't react the same way. Let me see. Let me go 10 feet and see what happens here. Okay, so it's a little higher. 10 feet. And I think that this is a perfect design for a house that is sitting on the beach. Now, if you're away from the beach, maybe you don't want to do this. That's understandable. But if you're sitting on the beach and you have the water right in front of you, this water, the water is going to flow right through the middle, and it won't affect a thing with the house. The outer walls have to be made of concrete. You can't do this with wood. It doesn't work. It has to be concrete. But so you can also have a stairway coming inside. If you think, well, I'm gonna lose my staircase because so the water's gonna rush and rip it. Also, the staircase could be raised. You can do some sort of a hinge pulley system or some sort of a hydraulic, but you can have a staircase coming in from the caisson into the house, and it will be protected. That's another way of doing it. This house is 40 feet. Yeah, let me rotate it a little bit. It's 40 feet in width, 20 feet in this way. Well, I should say 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. This beams that you see here, these beams are embedded in the concrete and plywood underneath, so it's completely sealed from the wind. The wind will not have anything to grab underneath. So this is plywood, and you should have plywood underneath the beams also, closing it up, and there's nothing grabbing. The wind will just flow around and keep going. I think that this design, instead of having those sticks coming out of the ground, this design is the way to go. I would find out with a contractor how much would it cost to build, and see what they say, because you can do the caisson out of concrete, and you can do the outer walls out of concrete, and then and when I say concrete, to make it cheaper, you make this it's a double wall. So what you do is you make it out of block, 8-inch block, work it all the way up, and then you fill it in with concrete, and that way the house, it's sitting on a very solid foundation, and you won't have any issues about any water flowing through, because it's going to be held down by Simpson anchors, post anchors, and it's going to be strong. Now notice that the eaves on the house, they're short right here. This is very short. You don't want the wind to grab anything, and you want it angled like this. So you put the eave really close to it. Remember, when you're building a house like this, is to have it to be as proof as possible against hurricanes. If you're gonna think about it's not pretty, it's not a fancy design, then you're defeating the purpose of constructing something like this. It's a modest home, 40 by 20. You can actually do 2-story home on something like this, because it's solid. It's something that it has the let me see, where's the front? That's the side, that's the bottom, that's the front, and you're facing the beach. So I think that if you build something like this, you're not going to be wanting to rebuild every 4 or 5 years. That area got hit with a hurricane 10 years ago. I forget the name of the hurricane. And people had damages again. And I notice on the videos that some people are rebuilding, and they're doing the same thing. They're doing the sticks in the ground. They're putting the house off the ground like this. I don't know how high. Maybe it looks like 12 feet. This is 14, and that depends on the city. The city says, well, no, you could do fine with 12, depending on the information they have on the records of previous hurricanes, that the flood level is only 10 to 12 feet. It will not touch the house. You can do it. You can do that. Just find out with the city. And then also, I know if you're going to be doing a lot of climbing of the stairs, coming up with groceries, etc. But what I would do, I would put a pulley system here with a basket, put all your groceries down at the bottom, and then go up and pull it with the pulley. And that's how if you don't want to carry the bags or anything, it is what it is. I mean, you're in an area that you're in danger of having a complete disaster again. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. So here you have a balcony, and you do have a small little roof for the balcony. That might go away, or if not, if it's part of the cemented roof and you extend it over with some post, concrete also, and that would stay there. The cement is not going to go. The wood will go. So as far as the flooding, I think this setup is very strong, that you can put any home, any size home, on top of it. And if you're going to go larger than 40 feet, you add another pillar like this. I mean, it's something that I think is the way to go. And I'm donating this idea. I hope somebody in the city would see it and would suggest it, or maybe even mandate it for the people that are going to start rebuilding again. So if you live next to the ocean, I think this will take care of most of the problems. All right, guys. I hope you like it, and I'll see you on the next one.